the Pokagon Potawatomi, along with other Potawatomi peoples, made a claim to the Chicago Lakefront. And today we've traced that claim, that unceded territory, with red, with sand.
Colonizers love to draw lines of demarcation to keep others in or keep them out. Reservation boundaries, walls, borders, but they've ignored and denied this one. They don't want to be reminded of the communities who were displaced or lost their lives trying to remain in their homelands, or the myriad government extermination policies created by the invaders to steal what was never theirs.
My name is Jian Lee. 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 이지연입니다. And I am Korean, and I mostly grew up here in Chicago. I immigrated to Chicago when I was 9 years old.
As a non-Native person, it was really important to me that we make sure that this project didn't continue without having significant input and direction and vision of Native folks. I think that's a lot of our charge, is to really be able to listen to and follow the lead of Native people. And I really wanted the project to function as a platform for Native voice and Native visibility.
When Indigenous people try to use our voices, when we try to speak up about the issues that we face every day, we're often met with the same response. Just get over it, is what they tell us. These things happened so long ago. Get over it. You should be grateful for what you have now. But there is no gratitude in land theft. There is no gratitude in assimilation. There is no gratitude in the erasure that we face every day. We are grateful to our grandmothers. We are grateful to our ancestors for their resiliency, and we are grateful to each other.
So we came up with the idea of drawing this line along the sidewalk of Michigan Avenue, and the material that we ended up using for the line is sand to mark what used to be a beach and sand dunes. On October 2nd, we had a procession led by these wonderful Pokagon women elders and other Native folks from Chicago, and a lot of Native college students who were in town. The route was, we ended up going from south to north, starting at Roosevelt up to the Chicago River, just north of the river, which is the site where Kilihawa and her slightly more well-known husband, DeSable, had their homestead, their farm and trading post.
And don't go on top of it. Go to the side of it. We kind of wide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you line up the wheels, yeah.
Perfect. Beautiful there. Great.
I'll start with the origins of the project, which is Professor Lau and his book Imprints. All of these stories, none of them I had heard about the relationship of his tribe and of Native peoples to the city of Chicago before I read his book. One of the chapters in that book is about a lawsuit that the Pokagon band filed against the city of Chicago in the early 1900s. And it went all the way up to the US Supreme Court, and they made a very important argument.
The treaty used Lake Michigan in 1833 as the boundary. Michigan Avenue was the road along the lake shore. We did not cede Lake Michigan itself. So, what happened after 1871? 1871 was Chicago's Great Fire. There was all this rubble and landfill, and they dumped it into the lake and extended the shoreline eastward into our Potawatomi Lake. They dumped their landfill into our lake, creating more landfill. We never ceded this territory. This land here was never included in any treaty or land cession by the Potawatomi. You can imagine, we've got the city of Chicago, the Illinois Central Railroad, the Chicago Park District, Northwestern University, the steel mills, all of the landowners along the lakeshore, including Potter Palmer and all the rest of the silk stocking set, against the Potawatomi Indians. And I suspect you might be able to guess who won.
That route is over a mile long, almost 1.5 miles, and on the way passing by Fort Dearborn, and goes past more than one monuments and public art pieces that are very harmful to Native people. And so it was very important, I think, that we had a significant presence of Native people.
You know, a lot of our societies, a lot of our cultures are matriarchal. And so to have, you know, this great number of Potawatomi women leading the procession was just so beautiful. And I really, really hope that people that were passing by, that were watching the procession, you know, went away wanting to know more about what it was about, wanting to know more about you know, Chicago. And I think having done this project, hopefully brought that to, you know, it showed people like, look at these Indigenous people walking up the street, creating this line and, you know, saying like, look, this is our homeland. This is, you know, we're here. You know, we may have been displaced, but, you know, we're back. we're here.
Where we ended was just north of the Chicago River, where we got to be in interaction with the public art piece by Andrea Carlson, and a Ojibwe artist who was also part of the project planning committee. Her banners, it says, "You are on Potawatomi land," and there's a section to the left of it that says that in Potawatomi as well. So it's a really powerful statement and presence in downtown Chicago. I think that art can point the way to new ways of thinking about things that we take for granted. And that's what I hoped that this project could do, is that it would make people stop and think about what land we're on and whose lands we're on.
I think about the connection that our people have had with Chicago for thousands of years. Whether our migration stories, we came from the water or we migrated in a different pattern than Western science reveals, I feel a deep-rooted connection to this region. And what is really lost is the fact that our people cannot even access land. The way that the land is being used is for economical purposes. So I think the real question for me is can we even own land?